My name is Alexa, and I'm the program director for Monday Night Marsh. I'm super excited to get tonight's show going because we're featuring a performer who's been with the Marsh for quite a few years. We've got David Kleinberg, and David Kleinberg will be performing his latest solo show, He Wants to Run, and that marks David's fourth work as a solo theater artist. His acclaimed Hey Hey LBJ is about his year as an Army combat correspondent in Vietnam, and it was performed in Washington, D.C., in New York, Sydney, and Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam as well. The sequel to LBJ is called Return to the Scene of the Crime, and that dealt with David's return to Vietnam for the first time in 50 years. So he's got a bunch of really great other shows that he's performed at the Marsh. David was also the editor of the San Francisco Chronicle's Sunday Entertainment magazine for 14 years during a 34-year editing, writing career at the newspaper. Fun stuff. So today, as we mentioned, he will be performing a piece called He Wants to Run. David hates running and dogs, but then ends up running with his neighbor's dog, Butler, for 13 years in Cloverdale. He Wants to Run is the story of what Butler teaches David about living and dying. Now, this is just a reminder that it's still a work in progress, so David welcomes any feedback at the end of the performance by any audience members. And then we'll have super brief, just a Q&A if you've also got some questions for him. So without further ado, let's welcome David Kleinberg.
I hate running. Then running sucks. I don't want to be doing this. I've been playing basketball all my life. Running? Who wants to do something where you have to listen to yourself? You go running. You go swimming. You go hiking. But you play basketball. It's fun. You do it with other people. But with no place to play ball in this small town of Cloverdale, I'm forced to go running. Hey, where'd you come from? Go away. Anybody out there know whose dog this is? Okay, not only do I hate running, I don't like dogs. And this guy won't go. Hey, stop jumping up. Don't jump up. Stop. Go. 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 Dog gone. And I hope gone for good. And so I continue up the dusty road of Elsie Way. And nothing but shacks on both sides of the street. And the yard's filled with nothing but junk. And the cars, broken windows, flat tires, no registration plates. And it makes me think back 1 month to when I had to have a tough discussion with my wife, Sandra. David, did you not see the termite report? Honey, we've been looking for a vacation home for a long time now. The mold. Did you not see the mold in the bathroom wall? It was 3 feet wide, and I swear it was getting larger as we looked at it. Okay, so it has a few termites and a little mold, and it needs a new trellis and a new refrigerator and a new heating system and a new kitchen and a new... Honey, I'm 57, spent 30 hard years at the newspaper. We've been busting our butts to get our business off the ground, and the last of our 5 kids from our blended family have left home. We deserve a little place just to rest. Well, I just wish it were on a nicer street. But we'd be on the good end of the street. There'd be nothing between us and a 1-minute walk to the rushing river. Well, I have to confess, I could see a nice picnic table down at that beautiful beach, and our grandkids with little frog nets, and the great blue heron, and the white egrets, and those swaying cottonwood trees. And I like the fact that it's on a half an acre of land. I've always wanted my own fruit orchard. And I could see myself in that tool shed making preserves. Once we get the rat poop cleaned out of it. That was 1 month ago. And now I am turning the corner from Elsie Way onto McRae Road. New house keys in my pocket. Sandra back at the tool shed, cleaning out the rat shit. Oh, the sun is bright, the spring air is cool, and the land is oh no, and this damn dog is back. Go away. Okay, he's brown. He's got an ugly face like a boxer. He's built like a lab, and well, he's 100 feet ahead of me, and he's 100 behind, and he's 100 ahead. Oh, what am I supposed to do? Oh, now we're coming up to this house where there's an old man with a long white beard sitting on his rocking chair on the porch. Hey, get your dog on a leash. Sorry, sir, he's not my dog. I don't give a crap. Get him on a leash. I'll call fucking sheriff. I will. That's going to be an interesting call. Whoa. Now we're coming toward a house where there are 4 Doberman pinchers behind a low cyclone fence. Hey, doggy, don't go near those Dobermans. I think what he's trying to say, as soon as I get inside that fence, I'm going to rip all 4 of your fucking heads off. One of the Dobermans clashes high on the fence like he's about to get out. And then silence. The ritual's over. And now we're heading toward a tunnel where the train goes through near the river. And he's 100 feet ahead of me, and he's 100 feet behind. And now he is chasing a rabbit up a hill that's practically perpendicular. Whoa. And now we're heading toward the river itself. And there are 2 brown mergansers floating off the riverbank in the early morning sun. He flies across the sand, hurls himself into the air, and with a thunderous splash lands 2 feet from the mergansers, who frantically tiptoe across the surface of the river in their brown tutus and soar into the beckoning sky. Wow. Hey, honey, how's it going here in the tool shed? Well, I could have used a little help. I've cleaned about 5 pounds of rat poop, probably have another 10 to go. Just thought I'd work a little bit here on the cobwebs. Did I see you running with the neighbor's dog? Well, I didn't have much of a choice. Apparently, neighbor doesn't believe his dog belongs in the house. I guess I'm going to have a talk with him. But the dog seemed friendly. Well, at one point, he just disappeared for 20 minutes. What am I supposed to do? He's not my dog. And see that bruise? He knocked me down chasing a rattlesnake. David, what is it about you and dogs? We've been married for 17 years, and I've always wanted to have a little doggy just like I had one as a girl. Honey, our therapist says, and I concur, that when it comes to children and animals, both parties just need to be in agreement. Well, sometimes I think our therapist is just full of shit. Oh, look at those little puppies. I'd like to have one of those puppies. Oh, they're so cute. That one right there is licking his paw. Oh, that's wonderful. The doggies in the window were free. I was 7 years old and they were giving away puppies at the corner grocery store. I held each puppy to my face to see which one loved me the most. And I called him Buddy. Dad said that we could keep Buddy. But a week later, he gave Buddy away. I think I held and kissed Buddy so much that maybe he got sick. My dad was a furrier. It was seasonal work, so maybe he just believed that 6 mouths were already enough to feed. In any case, from that time on, over the next 20 years to the last of my 3 younger siblings left home, there wasn't a single bark, meow, or roar in the Kleinberg jungle. Hi, my name is David Kleinberg, and me and my wife Sandra purchased the property across the street. Just wanted to introduce myself. Hold on a second. Kids, can you put that Monopoly game on hold? And I don't want to see anybody stealing money from the bank. Nice to meet you, Dave. My name is Will Armstrong, and that is my wife, Lucy. We've lived here for 5 years with our 3 kids. Have you moved in yet? Well, actually, we have a house in San Francisco, and this is going to be a vacation home for us. Ah, a vacation home. Well, that's nice. I think you'll like it. Oh, yeah, we're ecstatic to be this close to the river. But did want to say that when I've been going out for a run, your dog's been jumping up on me and trying to run with me. You must be a very good person then, because Butler here is an excellent judge of character. But we do treat the animals a little differently out here in the country. Well, yeah, I don't have any problem with that. I was just hoping that when I went out for a run, you'd be able to, put them in the house. We're not up here every week, and even when we are, I don't run every day. Well, let me tell you something about Butler. There are some dogs that want you to throw a ball till your arm falls off. And then there's these other dogs whose sole purpose in life seems to be to make sure you don't pull one stick from their mouth. But Butler, never seen one like him. He just wants to run. But when I see you going out to run, I'm going to just throw him in the backyard. Thank you, Will. Really appreciate that. Okay, so by a show of hands out there, and I know I can't see you, but anyway, if you currently own a dog, stick your hand up and just kind of maybe leave it there. Okay, great. Okay, and the rest of you, all you people who have ever owned a dog, could you also put your hand up and keep it there? That's good. Okay, and now just the rest of you, if you just plain like dogs, get your hands up. Okay, just about all of you, I'm going to assume. See, that's great, because see, the thing is, let me say, now that you can put your hands down, I'd like you, if you think that I handled that situation with Will properly, put your hands up. Okay, you know something? It doesn't matter. Because the thing is I don't hate dogs. It's just that some of you are like over the top about it. Like my sister, Barbara, who's here tonight to tell you how much she loves her dog, and Mitzi. Now, Mitzi's a Shih Tzu, which means lion dog in Chinese, but I think in any language more resembles, a kitchen mop. You're on, sis. You're my itsy bitsy bitsy pudding and pie. You're totally kosher. You're totally right. I love you too much. I love you too much. How much is too much? How much is too much? You are the love of my life. You love me. You love me. Boogie. How much is too much? That whole routine is way too much. 2 weeks later, we're back up in Cloverdale, and late in the afternoon, I decide to go out for a run, and can you believe this? Look, the entire carport is full of dogs, and the damn dog is here. Butler, no. Dave, I'm so sorry. But Will, you told me that you would keep him inside, but even worse, he is shit over my entire carport. Well, Dave, actually, this here is not Butler's poop. Now, Butler's poop is very long and tubular. It's black in color. It's solid in consistency. It has a glossy finish to it. And ironically, it barely smells like a poop. Now, you can see down here that this poop, it's very small, it's curly, it's brown in color, it's soft in texture. And yeah, I guess indeed it does smell like poop. Well, do you know whose poop that is? Yeah, I believe that's probably our other dog, York Wawa's poop. She's part Yorkshire Terrier, part Chihuahua, York Wawa for short. Now, I know it cannot be our third dog, the German Shepherd Dora's poop, because right now she's just pooping diarrhea. She's new. We haven't figured it out. Yeah, the neighbors have told me about that dog. Yeah, I just wish they would stop calling her Diarrhea Dora. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put Butler in the backyard. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to clean up all this poop. And once again, I'm very, very, very sorry. I hear the Armstrong back door slam shut. The dog, it's whimpering and barking. And so I head up the dusty road of Elsie Way. And speaking of shit, somebody has abandoned an old refrigerator right in the middle of the road. Maybe it wasn't such a great idea to buy. Oh no. And now the dog is here again. Butler, bad dog, Butler. Dave, I'm so sorry. Butler jumped the fence. He's never jumped a fence before. I'm going to take him back and tie him to a tree. Okay, well, yeah, could you do that? I would just like to have one little peaceful run. But the dog is looking up at me with an expression on his face that reminds me of the look that Buddy had on his face when I had to give him back to Dad. You know something, Will? I just give up, okay? Just let me run with him, okay? So we turned the corner onto McRae Road, heading south toward River Park, and he's 100 feet ahead of me, and he's 100 behind, and now he's 100 ahead. And I think back to the time when I was 15 years old, and I contemplated how old I'd have to be when the new millennium came. 57 years old. At that time, it just seemed like an impossible age to get to. But now the new millennium is here. And I am still here. And the hills are rolling in green. Where are you taking me, doggy? And he leads me through a narrow forest trail. And we come to an opening where before us stand two wise old oak trees. Their arms are outstretched to greet us like in a late day golden pot of dew. The gray-green moss hanging from their limbs like delicate lace scarves. Thank you, doggy. Thank you. Hey, honey, I ran with that dog again. You did? His name is Butler. I think I like him. He wants to run. And so the ritual is set. Butler lying in the dirt between the houses all day long. When's he going to come out? When are we going to get to run? And the moment I hit the patio, he races across the street, hurls himself into the air, grabs my running pants with his teeth, and starts pulling me up the road. And all I could do is yell at him, he wants to run. He wants to run. Halfway up Elsie Way, Miguel Gonzalez out watering his plants. Buenos dias, Senor Miguel, ¿cómo está? Ah, muy bien, mi amigo, Senor David. I am so happy to see you running with a Pedro Butler and not that despicable diarrhea Dora. Miguel and his family, his wife Carlita and their 4 kids, age 2 to 8, moved here 5 years ago to be near his brother in Santa Rosa. You see the 49er game Sunday? See, Senor Jeff Garcia, he threw 4 touchdown pass, and the Niners are going to the playoffs. Es extraordinario. 20 minutes later, Butler and I are greeted by the sound of Sulphur Creek as we run along Geysers Road. But I'm thinking about the problems that I'm having with my new microwave oven. Now, Butler, he is out chasing wild turkeys. But I'm thinking about my mom, who's just been moved from assisted living to memory care. Whoa, Butler's back. Wow, a very proud turkey chasing puppy. But I'm thinking about how long I'm going to have to wait at the DMV on Monday. Why is it, even when there isn't a crisis going on, I can't seem to turn it off? Well, maybe that's why I like to play basketball. When I'm on the court, I don't have any time to think about why somebody defriended me on Facebook last week. I see an open man, I fire him the ball. My man doesn't come back, I double team the ball. I get an open shot, I let it fly. Hey, Butler, come here. Butler, Eckhart Tolle says, in The Power of Now, nothing ever happens except in this moment. And Butler seems to give me a look that says, Dave, why the hell weren't you running with those wild turkeys with me? OMG. And after our run, we relax at the most beautiful spot on the property, below the rapids, underneath the tree. Here, there are no honking cars, no fire engines or police sirens, no homeless tents, no gray skies. Am I an asshole for not spending more time trying to solve the world's problems? To just be able to sit here and listen to the gurgle of the rapids, watch the swallows fly through like little jet fighters. And there, high on the swaying cottonwood trees, The wind tumbles leaves down like in little parachutes where they hit the water and float downstream like a flotilla of yellow sailboats. And lazy Butler, fast asleep, missing it all. Hey, Butler, can you move over? Quit hogging all the sand. And after our nap, we head back up toward the road. And there, in the middle of the block, a fire engine and an ambulance, and Will and Miguel. Will, what's going on here? Kid named Calvin lives there. He's overdosed again. He's overdosed on what? He overdosed on heroin, and he supposed to be taking care of his sick mother. Hey, Will, here is a nice cab, and Sandra has brought some of her killer chocolate chip cookies. Dave, you didn't need to do that. We should have had you for dinner a long time ago. Will has barbecued some chicken and steak. Lucy's contributor, quote, big salad, secret ingredient, soy sauce. The kids are off in one of the bedrooms playing Monopoly, and we are sitting around this large coffee table surrounded by a two-piece sectional couch. Will is very proud in his new pushback recliner. The large TV screen is set to a local news show, and Butler is sitting right next to me. But I'm feeling rather awkward. In the space of a few months, Sandra and I have put in this really nice jacuzzi. We've redone the kitchen. We've replaced the small windows at the front of the house with large panes so we can take in those beautiful mountain views. To say nothing of converting the barn into a sweet two-bedroom guest house. These are all options that the Armstrongs probably don't have. Yet they get to live here in all of this beauty year-round with their kids, and they love it. So, Will, I wanted to thank you for using your tractor to smooth out Elsie Way after the rains. Nothing, Dave. Going to do it again tomorrow to push some sand over the river rock so we have a smooth path to the beach. Well, Sandra and I would like to contribute some chairs and a nice picnic table. We'd be set for the summer. Also, I've been running with Butler now for 3 months, and every time we come up here, he spends his entire time with us. Is that okay? Dave, I have a full-time job as a mechanic, a full-time job taking care of the property. Lucy's at the hospital 3 days a week, and we got 3 rambunctious kids. Now, if you were to run with all 3 of my dogs, I'd erect a statue of you up at the top of Elsie Way and rename the street Kleinberg Boulevard. The red, white, and blue bunting is hanging beautifully over the carport. We have about 25 guests up here today from the city and several people from Elsie Way. It's the 4th of July, and it's our first opportunity to show off the new digs. So, how do you know Dave? That's Luke, one of my poker buddies. Well, I live right there. Wow, I envy both you and Dave. If I lived here, I'd sleep down there below the rapids. That's a holy place. Well, it's not all a land of milk and honey here. There are some odd people on the street, besides Dave, of course. And 2 years ago, the river flooded. Both Dave and I houses were surrounded by water, but we were the lucky ones. People like Miguel over there and his family, they all had a foot of water in their living rooms. And at that point, Luke decides to throw a toast to David and Sandra for bringing us up here to this beautiful place in the country on America's birthday. I just have one question for Sandra. What was with that Photoshop invitation of Dave and that dog there flipping burgers for us? I thought Dave was the biggest dog curmudgeon between here and Alpha Centauri. Well, that dog, his name is Butler, just started running with Dave and wouldn't quit. And now they just run like an old married couple. And precisely on cue, my 3-year-old grandniece, Megan, grabs a fat, juicy hot dog and starts marching toward the now honored Butler. Her mother isn't so sure. Megan, no, don't go near that doggy. No, don't go near. Butler gently takes the hot dog from Megan's hand and slowly chews it down, leaving Megan's fingers entirely intact. Mommy, I like Butler. Can I give Butler another hot dog? And of course, we all start chanting, one more dog, one more dog. And when everyone's done eating, we head down toward the river, led by Butler, Megan, and all the kids carrying tiny American flags in one hand, frog nets in the other. Hey, Butler, can you let me just tie my shoes? Butler is acting like he hasn't seen me in 2 months, which is actually the case. My brother Dennis, who lives in Australia, and I met in India, and we spent a couple of months touring there. Hey, Butler, India, Ganges, temples, gurus, but not for you. You guys aren't pets there. Some of the men may throw rocks at you. Some of the kids might kick you. Food, you might end up with a bunch of other doggies just chasing the garbage truck. But forget about that, because we are heading today to First Street Bridge through River Park. Let us go and have fun. Hey, buenos dias, Senor Miguel. ¿Cómo está? Miguel just ignored me and walked right into his house. What the hell is going? Oh my God. No, he's not selling his house. Wells Fargo is selling his house. So I turned the corner onto McRae Road, heading south toward First Street Bridge. Butler is kicked into high gear, but I've down throttled to ponder the significance of what's been happening to the Elsie Way residents during the recession. Just 2 weeks ago, I was in Calcutta, where I saw thousands living in lean-to squalor with no possessions to repossess. And now we head into River Park. The river, it's chocolatey with whitecaps roaring downstream like a freight train a football field wide, even in the dead of winter. It's so beautiful here. But my mind is thinking about Miguel. And why is it that I have two nice homes and he's struggling to maintain his one modest American possession? And now we've turned around and we're heading back toward Elsie Way. And I'm thinking maybe what I just need to do is talk to Miguel and say, hey, Miguel, why don't you and Carlita just move into our place till things get better? Yeah. And leave like one room in the guest house. So like when we come up, yeah, maybe we could even have a barbecue together. Yeah. Maybe I should tell him that. Well, what would Butler say? Probably, Dave, the Armstrongs are always moving new dogs in on me. What the fuck's the big deal? Yeah, I'll just tell Miguel that when we pass the house. Well, maybe I ought to talk to Sandra first. But what's going to happen to the Elsie Way refugees? It's Elsie Way. If you can't make it there, you probably can't make it anywhere. And like the wide, roaring Russian River, it all seems way too big for me. And that is all I have for tonight. I want to thank my wife for playing the sound cues for me. And I want to thank all of you for being part of this audience and allowing me to have my first opportunity to perform on Zoom. So what you've seen is close to 2/3 of this play, and the rest of it really deals with Butler showing me about living and dying as we move on into our old age together. So thank you very much for allowing me to be a part of this show. And thank you to the Marsh Theater and Stephanie Wiseman also.
Thank you so much, David. I'm so happy that I got to see, because I've seen, the first part, and then, months and months later, I've seen the second part. So it's like out of the 3 pieces that you have. So it's really nice to see it all coming together. You said it was your first time performing this on Zoom, or just performing in general on Zoom? What was that experience?
No, this is actually my very first time performing on Zoom. I actually have 3 Zoom performances scheduled. One for my family, second for my wife's family, and third for the people of Cloverdale.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
When are those happening?
So, yeah, and it's also good in the sense that, a lot of the people that will be able to see it on Zoom probably would never be able to see it live anyway, especially my family in Australia.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
What was it like preparing for a Zoom session?
Oh, I had a lot of fun doing that. Of course, I worked with my great director, Mark Kenward, on Zoom. But I think maybe because of my background as a newspaper person, where I had to deal with photographs a lot, making choices about photographs, cropping photographs, because also at one point in my life, I was an antique postcard collector and dealer. So I was dealing with images then. So when I'm seeing a picture on the screen, I guess I have an innate sense to when I should be up here in your face and when I should be back. Maybe I'm 100% wrong, but I think it's been pretty comfortable. And obviously it has limitations because I can't lean down and pet Butler really because the camera is frozen. So there's certain things you can't do.
Yeah, you use the space really well, though. I really appreciate that. And I think that you are right. You weren't like right up in our faces and too far back. We could hear you the whole time.
Yeah.
I feel like we still got a sense of, the scene, even though you couldn't, do things like pet Butler and things like that.
Yeah, and that's, as Mark, says, it's one of the limitations Zoom, and it's so completely
Yeah.
different than performing in a theater, obviously, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, what we got right now.
Yeah, exactly. How long have you been working on this piece?
Time flies so fast these days. I think 2 to 3 years, probably 2 years for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's interesting because I noticed that since I've gotten older, my memory isn't as sharp. So really took me longer this time to finally get it off script.
Yeah.
And then, I've kind of practiced it, just to keep it sharp during the week. Sometimes I'm doing a Zoom practice. Sometimes I'm doing a regular practice because I'm actually have started going out to McLaren Park and performing it, show up live and inviting like the maximum number of people that you're allowed to have, 10 to 12. I think it's 12 now. And at the outdoor theater there seats 1,200. So that's essentially,
yeah, I know exactly.
that's one person for every 100 seats. So
Yeah.
I think you could do distancing there. And, but that's also a crapshoot because you don't know if somebody else is going to be using the stage or
Right.
what else is going on. And then you have families walking in front of you with their kids and dogs. And the first time we did it, my laptop, none of the sound cues could be heard. So I figured out
Right.
there's something called a Bluetooth, and I got a little speaker. So next
Nice.
time.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
sound cues worked really well too. At least I could hear it really well on my end. So
Right.
that was great use of those. Props
Thank
to
you.
your wife.
Yeah. She's smiling right now. She doesn't want to be seen. She is smiling. And we had a lot of fun, doing the tech work together.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, tech is awesome.
And we're still married.
All right, well, I think that about wraps it up then. Thanks so much for performing for us.
Okay. A lot of chat. I guess I
Yeah,
covered everything. Nothing more to ask.
I
Anyway,
know. Sometimes people not sure too how to use the chat box. So yeah, thank you again. I want to say thank you to Stephanie Weisman for again providing us
absolutely.
the opportunity to feature performances like David Kleinberg's and other works in progress as well. I also want to say, as usual, thank you to David Harada and Brianna, our Zoom techs. Without them, we definitely could not have done this. And again, to everybody who joined us today in the audience, we hope you join us every week. Every Monday, we have something new going on at 7:30. Sometimes we have a couple different performances. Sometimes we have one long piece like we did tonight. So thanks again and hope everybody has a great night.
Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate it. I love doing this, and I hope someday you can see the whole rest of it to the end. I think of the 4 pieces I've done now, I'm really happy about this one. It's a different piece. Thank you.
Thank you.